Hi, I'm Tom Hendrickson from the Agile Online Summit, where we bring great Agilists to the world. And welcome to our Community Spotlight, where we shine the light on the communities that help promote the summit. Today, we have with us Tatiana from the Business Agility Institute in Brazil. Tatiana, introduce yourself to the people here at the Agile Online Summit.
Thank you very much, Tom. So let me start contextualizing a little bit my journey with agility. So I have been working as Agile COE Latin America leader for IBM. So most of my professional, life. So and then in IBM, I have been in contact with the first agile movement in Brazil in the world. And there I have met Evan Labor. We started working together. I used it to lead Latin America teams, and Evan used it to lead global COE teams. And then we started discussing how to bring agility to business. So this discussion started within IBM. In 2016-17, I left IBM and I have worked for AOS. AOS is a Spanish company. I have been working there as a director for Agile COE in Brazil for 2 years. And then Evan left IBM and created the Business Agility Institute, the global one, and we reconnected. I started playing the role of Business Agility Brazil leader. And now, after last year, actually, I left AOS. I created my own company to help Brazilian companies on their journeys related with business agility. And today, I play the role of Business Agility Brazil leader. So we are growing the community here, and I also have my own company to help, more closely Brazilian medium and big companies.
Tatiana, it sounds like you're really busy. You're involved with the Business Agility Institute in Brazil, leading that up. So you've been there from the very start. So talk to us about kind of what it took to get that running and how that's going now.
Sure. Well, we started the community here with some experimentation, with no structuring, no planning, no formality. So we started last year running some meetups to understand what people were looking for, what kind of help companies and people here in Brazil need. So to better understand people and company needs. So this was our starting point. Then after a couple of months experimenting and knowing our public, we decided to kick off the community. And this was in May this year. So we started suggesting some kind of internal organization, which we call our nucleus of work. So the nucleus of work are auto-organized teams with a purpose that was built by each team connected to Business Agility Brazil purpose. And we started with this suggestion this year when we kicked off the community and the nucleus of work. By that time, there were 5 nucleus of work. We started working together, meeting with each nucleus of work every week, and some leadership started to emerge. This was very nice. We didn't have to point out the nucleus leaders. They emerged, and they emerged because I needed help, requested help, and the ones that were ready to help more were the ones that are now the nucleus leaders. And one interesting thing that also happened is that after 2 or 3 months working together, 3 more nucleus emerged. So now we have 8 nucleus of work. And there was something very interesting about this kind of way of working. We work in cycles, right? So every 3 months, we define our goals each nucleus of work define their goals with my support. And then after those 3 months, we share what we have achieved, what were our lessons learned. And in our last meeting, we have shared, each nucleus of work leader shared what we have done. We have a very nice experience. We actually invited a couple of people for this meeting, not only the community. And at the end, one of the participants raised his hand and said, "Hey, there's no Negro in this community." And he was a Negro. And he said, "So I think we should have more diversity in this community." This brought out a reflection, and we said, "Hey, you were right. I think we need to have more diversity. Diversity is needed for business agility in companies. So how about we creating a nucleus about diversity and having you helping us?" That's how we started the diversity nucleus. So he is now a Negro. He is now the nucleus leader. This nucleus started this way. So this is just an example on the way we work. So we have an open space, a free space where we allow good things to emerge. You know what I mean? So this is something I like to share.
Yeah. Yeah, Tatiana, I really like what the way you're talking through these nucleus of work, and that how organic it is. And like you mentioned, if somebody sees a need, like you mentioned in diversity, and someone steps forward, you empower them. That it's so inviting that you do that in the way you lead. So I think that's probably one of the strengths of your community. It sounds like you have allowed people to step forward, right?
Right. That's perfect. And we actually, Tom, I think what I see in organizations as a difficult that as the organizations have in Brazil is that they are trying to bring agility to their business, but most of the times in a prescriptive way. You know what I mean? So companies are looking for a framework to implement, to expand business agility to business, and this is not the way we believe it will work. So we need to have emergent approach that respect the complexity way of working, the complexity naturally. So this is what we are doing in the community. You know what I mean? So we wait for the needs to show up for us to discuss what we will do to bring up possibilities to solve our problems. So for example, we started with the nucleus of work, and each one with their meetings and put together their goals and etc. And then after a couple of months working, we felt the need to connect those nucleus. So we really need the leaders to work together to share what the nucleus are doing. And this is why and this is where, I'm sorry, another meeting emerged. So we created another meeting, a bi-weekly meeting, to have the nucleus need, sharing what they are doing in the nucleus of work. We didn't start doing that because there wasn't a need to connect the nucleus in the beginning. So we do not put a framework in front of us. We actually work with freedom and with our principles and with our agility knowledge, and we pick up new practice just when we need it. You know what I mean?
Yes, that's very good. So Tatiana, what would be, and it sounds like you have some good tips to share with other community facilitators out there to really grow a community like you have done in Brazil?
Yes, I think there are two things that are really important. One of them is make sure that you have a reason for doing what you are doing. You have a why. You have a strong purpose. So what you want to change in the world. So what you want to bring to society. So what is this about? So this needs to be clear. I think this is something really important. And the other thing is give visibility to this. Share that with people, otherwise they won't know what you are doing. So find ways of sharing that with people. Do not think, this is important, do not think about a way to engage in people. You are not, no one is able to engage others directly. We are not able to change people's behavior. They will engage if this makes sense to them. So do what you believe. Invite people to join you, give visibility. Those that will see themselves connected with what you are doing, they will connect to us, to you. You know what I mean? So people used to think about how changing others' behavior. So this is a command and control way of thinking. So do not think about engaging others. There is nothing you can do about it. Think about what you can do to change the world and invite people to join you. Give visibility to this.
Yeah. Yeah. I like how you, Tatiana, brought us back to kind of starting with why and having that reason. That's so important, that we know what our goal is, as opposed to just, kind of aimlessly wandering. If you have that focus, it helps, doesn't it?
Right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So we live here in interesting times, Tatiana, where we're going through a pandemic. What has your community done to adapt or change during this time?
Well, first of all, everything we do today is remotely, right? So we use it to meet with each other, to in some local having face-to-face conversations and etc. And that changed. So this was a really great test for us, to make us understand how strong we were as a community. As soon as the pandemic started, so immediately we started to move our meetings to a remote way of working. So that also allowed us to be more creative, So we started thinking what we can do in our meetings to make them interesting remotely. So this was pretty much what we started to think about, how we can do everything we were doing in a face way of working now remotely. And we were very successful in doing that this way. I think people didn't stop, joining our meetings because we were remote after the pandemic. And I think our community is growing in a very exponential way. So this reflects that our actions are being accepted, in this movement to move to remote way of working after the pandemic.
Yes, it's important how we all have to kind of adapt as we go through this time and keep adapting. So very important. Tatiana, you shared a lot with us today. Any closing thoughts?
I'd like to share with you a very quick video, if you allow me. It's a 2.5 video about our community. I think it will help you and anyone that see this video after our conversation, just to have an overview about our community here. Is that fine?
Sure.
The Business Agility Institute Brazil is a community of people who want to help creating the next generation of organizations. That is our purpose. Here in Brazil, we started our activities holding meetups on business agility and other related topics. We were officially born as a community on May 5th, 2020, when we held our first kickoff meeting and shared with all the volunteers our dreams, our vision of future, and our idea about our internal organization in Nucleus of Work. The Nucleus of Work are teams that also have a purpose. Volunteers can get to know what each nucleus means on our intranet and can choose the nucleus they want to be part of. Now we are going to tell you a little bit about the possibility of relating to the Institute of Brazil. You can be a volunteer and act in the nucleus team we just shared with you. You can be a corporate member and have your company participating in our global and regional events, executive forums, access our content library, participating in our learning and communication incubators, and several other initiatives that we offer. You can be an individual member and count on several initiatives from our community to develop your career as a transformation agent. You can have your company being a sponsor of the Institute and having your brand on all our communication vehicles. Anyone can connect with our community in Brazil. You just need to feel a connection with our dream of helping organizations and people. Everything else we will discover and overcome together. Our community in Brazil is with open arms for you, wherever your interest is. To learn more about the Business Agility Institute in Brazil, visit our website.
Thanks for sharing that with us, Tatiana. That was very interesting about your community and how, the areas that you have.
Okay. Thank you very much, Tom. It was a very nice conversation. I feel very happy when I see someone interested in knowing what we are doing in Brazil. Community is really my passion. I love giving people the freedom to do what they have inside, what they dream, connecting dreams. So this is really my passion. So I feel very happy with this conversation and sharing with you what we're doing here in Brazil. Thank you
Excellent,
so much.
Tatiana. I can see your passion for this project and really enjoy having a conversation with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
On behalf of Tatiana, I am Tom Hendrickson for the Agile Online Summit.